Roberto Carlos is considered one of the greatest footballers of all time. His gravity-bending free kicks and deadly finishing made him one of the most exciting defenders to watch. But how does he stack up by today's standards? Stick around to hear what it was that made Roberto Carlos so good. Early experience in Europe. Roberto Carlos grew up in Sao Paulo in Brazil to an extremely poor family. He had to work from the age of 12 just to help support his parents, but his true passion was always football. He would play whenever he had the chance, and by the time he was 19, he had signed with the club Atlético Mineiro, who play in the Brazilian National League. The team then took him on tour in Europe, where he first got a chance to play on a big stage. He played all over Spain, and after talent scouts saw him, it opened up a lot of opportunities. When he returned to Brazil, he joined an even bigger club, Palmeiras. They went on to win 2 league titles with Carlos before he was ready to move internationally. This was the biggest moment of his career, and he had a difficult choice in front of him. He could either join Aston Villa and be part of the prestigious Premier League, or he could join Inter Milan in Italy. Both teams had some mixed results in recent years, and it was a tough choice. In the end, Carlos went with Inter Milan. In his debut match with the club, he impressed everyone. He scored from a free kick and proved that he was the real deal. But throughout the season, he was playing up in midfield, which is not where he wanted to be. You might think that every player wants to be as close to attack as possible. Well, not Roberto Carlos. He was sure that the right position for him was in defence as a left back. The coach didn't agree with him, and it was one of the reasons that Carlos decided to leave Inter Milan. Normally you should listen to the boss, but it's Roberto Carlos. Recreating the left back position. Before Roberto Carlos came along, defenders were expected to stay in their position at the back of the field. Their job was to protect the goals and shut down any attacking threats. But Carlos changed all that. He was fast, fit, and had great skill on the ball. He could assist with goals, take free kicks, and score brilliant goals. Managers and players realised that the fullback position could be much more attacking than it used to be. When he left Inter Milan in 1996, it was because the manager, Roy Hodgson, couldn't recognise this. Hodgson put Carlos in centre midfield when he joined Milan and didn't want to change that. Carlos asked to be played in left back instead, but Hodgson wouldn't listen. The disagreement between the two led to conflict and personal attacks. Carlos has said that, "He told me I would never succeed as left back. I told him that he doesn't understand football." Eventually, the Brazilian had a meeting with the boss Massimo Moratti and told him that he couldn't work with Hodgson. He asked to leave, and Real Madrid were more than happy to sign him. These days, being a defender doesn't mean hanging back and waiting for attackers to charge you. Now, you can be a big part of the team. You're expected to run up the field with the ball and assist with goals. That is what modern fullbacks are expected to do. Players like Trent Alexander-Arnold or Joao Cancelo can thank Roberto Carlos for their careers, because without him, they would be struggling to earn a position in midfield. I'm sure they can work out some kind of commission. The golden era at Real Madrid. Most people know Roberto Carlos from his time at Real Madrid. The white shirt of the Los Blancos is iconic with the names of many of football's greatest players. He's one of the most successful players to be with the team and was part of the Galacticos era from 1996 to 2007. This was a time when David Beckham, Luis Figo, Zidane and Ronaldo were at the club, and it was the start of the modern Real Madrid that we see today. Real Madrid's manager Fabio Capello was so desperate to have Carlos as part of the team that he was signed within 24 hours of becoming available. Capello has said that he couldn't believe the news that Inter Milan were going to sell Roberto Carlos. Within just 24 minutes, Capello had written a contract and sent his second-in-command to secure the deal. By the next day, Carlos was officially a Madrista. He helped the team win 3 Champions Leagues and 4 La Liga titles in one of the most dominant periods of footballing history. For a defender, his statistics are incredible. He played 527 games and scored 68 goals. For comparison, his fellow defender Chendo only managed to score 3 goals over 16 years with the club. In 2003, Real Madrid faced their arch-rivals Barcelona in the famous El Clasico. Roberto Carlos scored a trademark free kick to help win the match and beat Barcelona for the first time in 20 years. His salary while he was at the club was $10 million per year, and with that record, he earned every cent. The 1997 free kick. The most famous video of Roberto Carlos is his amazing free kick in 1997. It was a tournament in France in the build-up to the 1998 World Cup. Carlos was only 24 years old, but he was already growing into a footballing legend. He had just joined Real Madrid and was at the top of his game. When the opportunity for a free kick came, he took it. It was 35 metres away from the line and nobody was expecting a goal. There was a four-man wall protecting the keeper, but it wasn't enough. Carlos smashed the ball with the outside of his left foot and curled it all the way into the back of the net. While it was in the air, it never looked like it was going to bend back, but then, at the last moment, it did. The goalkeeper was stunned and the commentators didn't know what to say. It has been called the greatest free kick of all time many times, and for good reason. It seemed to defy gravity. Actually, it almost did. It was so good, there have been scientific studies about how the ball moved. A study in the New Journal of Physics had to break down into equations how the ball was able to move so radically from one direction to another. One of the scientists described Carlos's goal as a football miracle that we would never see again. If you need a group of scientists to explain how your free kick happened, you must be good. World Cup glory. Not every player can perform on the big stage. Some of the best players in the world, like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, have never won a World Cup before. It is a different kind of competition, and it is the biggest stage in the world. In 2018, more than half of the world watched the World Cup. Over 3.5 billion people tuned in to watch France beat Croatia. It's by far the biggest stage in the world, and not every player can perform under such pressure. Even David Beckham missed a crucial penalty in a World Cup qualifier for England. Roberto Carlos didn't have any problem under the pressure. He helped Brazil get to the final in 1998 in France. It was a home team France who eventually beat Brazil, with a team that had Zinedine Zidane and Didier Deschamps. Carlos came back for the World Cup again in 2002. He was a key part of the team and linked up with a dream squad, including Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Cafu, Kaká, and Ronaldinho. Doesn't that sound more like a FIFA Ultimate Team than a real-life squad? They looked invincible and cruised through the finals where they faced Germany. But 2 goals by Ronaldo later and they had won the title. It was Roberto Carlos's first World Cup and the high point of his career. He said that being a World Cup champion for your country was a dream come true and something that every footballer aspires to. It wasn't long after he retired from international football. And who can blame him? He already won the World Cup. The best fill-in of all time? Can you imagine showing up to your casual Sunday League football match and playing against a World Cup winner? Well, that's what happened to some lucky players in Shrewsbury in the United Kingdom. The team won an eBay charity raffle earlier this year, which was a one-match signing of Roberto Carlos. The ticket only cost £5 to enter. That's not bad for a World Cup winner who was once paid over $10 million a year. Carlos said he enjoyed the experience and that it brought back memories from his childhood. It was a reminder that Carlos grew up in tough conditions and worked hard to get to the top. He learned to play on makeshift football pitches while working and going to school just to support his family. This is part of what made him such a special player and one of the greatest defenders of all time. All of the players who played him in Shrewsbury said that he's still got some moves, but at 48 years old, he might not have many more matches. His game on a chilly Sunday in a small town in England could be his last appearance on the pitch. What a way to say goodbye to a footballing legend. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. And for more football content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. See you next time.